Hi Aquarius, happy full moon in Aquarius during Leo season. So going to start this out with some musical notes to clear out the energy. Really got one note on that one. Very clear. The still air Aquarius, the fixed air, the water bearer. Let me get the Celtic frost for Aquarius, please. The revolutionary. Okay, I'm gonna read. I pull them out that way. So that's how I read them. Let me flip out. It's better to just not see. So I don't think about the placement so hard. Okay. It is what it is, even when it's knuckle shuffled. Okay. So Aquarius, right now your present energy is the High Priestess in reverse. So this is about maybe having trouble getting in touch with your intuition. You're feeling like overwhelmed by the mystery of life. These pomegranates in the background are really about like mystery of life, that we can't necessarily know everything that's going on, but not feeling like you are understanding like what mysteries are going on for you right now, or having trouble getting in touch with your intuition and just like letting the mystery of things happen. Your challenge right now is the Page of Wands, Leo energy with that fire energy. This is moving forward like with new passionate ideas and inspiration. This is really an inspiration card. So maybe you're feeling like this is a challenge right now, because if you're not feeling like you're in that intuitive energy of knowing exactly what is what, which way is up, then, you know, maybe this inspirational energy is feeling sort of like you have this inspiration to move forward with something, but you're not necessarily feeling seated in that intuition to know necessarily how to move forward. In the recent past, you have the Six of Wands in the reverse, more fire energy there with Leo. Six of Wands in the reverse can kind of be about a fall from grace, or, you know, over egotism, just being too much in your ego. And so maybe that's an energy that you've recently been coming out of, and that's why you're not necessarily feeling in touch with that intuitive energy, and sort of just feeling like the watery energy, the High Priestess, the mystery of life is just kind of taking you for a ride. And in the near future, you have the King of Swords, so taking that more like muddled energy possibly and moving forward towards this truth. So Aquarius is the water bearer, but it is an air sign, and so the King of Swords is really about standing in that masculine energy. Aquarius is a masculine sign, standing in that a masculine energy, about having a good amount of control over, you know, what you consider and what you know to be your truth, and being able to help other people grapple with that truth as well. So this is about moving solidly towards a way of communicating and thinking that is stable and is able to sort of like rule the kingdom. And that's Leo energy there with that royalty, and really feeling like you are in your air energy of who you are. So maybe there was a fall from grace that led to this sort of muddling and difficult time getting in touch with like your intuition with that water bearer energy, but moving forward into that like masculine Aquarius energy of being able to communicate truth and receive truth in a grounded way that is meant for you. In the energy, above energy, what you're consciously aware of, what people might be seeing of you, what you're showing to the world, is the release of this Nine of Swords. So the swords, air, Aquarius energy, releasing some sort of a major disappointment and pain. And in the subconscious energy is the Hanged Man in the reverse, major arcana card. This person almost has like a sun halo around their head, which is nice with Leo season, the sun coming up. But the Hanged Man in reverse can kind of be about having kind of it can be about like a waiting around kind of energy, but trouble letting go, trouble developing a new perspective on something. And I think that can kind of make sense with this more like muddled energy that you were feeling with like the loss of this sense of egotism, and moving forward towards a divine and adaptive way of thinking and communicating. And this, you know, having trouble developing, like moving into that new perspective is maybe just what you're experiencing on the subconscious level. your advice right now is the World card. So to allow this cycle and integration, major arcana card, to allow some sort of a major cycle complete. In this fixed energy, the fixed signs border the World and the Wheel of Fortune card. This is about your stability and being who you are, and just showing that to the world, and allowing some cycle to integrate, because you are kind of coming out now in new form. And coming out, Aquarius can be associated with sort of like more of like a queer kind of energy. Not that every Aquarius is queer, but interesting that like coming out came out of my mouth. And so this is about, finishing up some sort of major cycle of integration, and that's really nice, especially the fixed energy, the swords energy, masculine energy. That's interesting. All of the air signs are masculine energy: Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Interesting. Moving toward really like towards yourself here, and allowing some sort of cycle to integrate. Energy surrounding you right now is the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, so like earthy kind of energy. Not necessarily feeling like you are, you're not necessarily feeling this abundant feminine energy in the way that you obtain your resources, in your career, in your wealth. So not necessarily feeling like you're in this abundant garden of wealth and resources at this present moment. The fear is the King of Pentacles in the reverse, so that could have to do with like the energy surrounding you, a fear of being financially inept, of losing your finances, of not having control over your career or the way that you obtain and define abundance, and maybe like a sense of like ruthlessness or high expectation about what you determine that you want your career to be, but maybe not necessarily feeling right now that you're sort of fearful that you're not going to be able to find like that career or financial stability. But that's just like a fear right now. And the outcome of all of this is the King of Cups in the reverse. So maybe having a little bit of trouble again with that High Priestess card in the reverse. You're maybe having trouble getting in touch with like your intuition, your creativity, balancing your love and your relationships. So having both of these in your present energy here and in your outcome energy, this is about having, maybe feeling like a little emotionally unstable about what you have going on, having trouble getting in touch with that intuition. And this is like masculine intuition. So making sure that you are not, again, I see sometimes the King and Queen in reverse as can like be a biting energy around the sign archetype of that card. So making sure that you're not like developing a sense of like ruthless expectation around your creativity and your relationships. So being the water bearer, trying to like balance out that water energy. And I'm just going to look up King of Cups, because if anyone's been watching the channel at all, I am still learning a little bit, so I try to show exactly what I'm reading as I go. To teach is to learn. So self-compassion, inner feelings, moodiness, emotionally manipulative. So giving yourself sort of this loving energy, just feeling a lot of things, feeling a little moody, feeling emotionally manipulative or manipulated. So just not necessarily having like a balancing of that water energy going on right now. But give that compassion to yourself when you're feeling like moody and not necessarily in control of your emotions. Start giving that compassion to yourself, and then maybe it'll go outward from there. You're having trouble like letting go of some stuff, but in the above energy, like you are letting go of this pain. You're letting go of this pain in the above energy, but you're also having some trouble maybe letting go of that pain in the subconscious energy. So giving love to yourself, and you have two kings here. So you're really feeling that Aquarius energy of yours, and you're wrapping up a cycle, and you might be a little nervous about like your career and finances right now, but King of Swords in the reverse, King of Swords in the upright for the future, King of Swords in the upright for the near future, King of Cups in the reverse for the outcome. This is just like a balancing of you, this air, but the water bearer energy. So moving forward towards this truth, but making sure that you're balanced in your emotion as well. So don't forget about balancing out that emotion for yourself and for the people who are around you. And then please get a couple prison cards for Aquarius. got growth, determination, and isolation. Growth, determination, and isolation. So this determination is definitely showing up as sort of like a challenge energy for you here. Isolation is like Aquarius can be seen as the ghost, because Aquariuses can be like rebellious, but really looking for like new ways to be, forging new paths for the collective, and that can feel very isolating because sometimes an Aquarius might see things or feel things before other people do. And then this growth, which could be something that is, feeling like a challenge for you, since the energy surrounding you right now is the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and your fear is the King of Pentacles in the reverse. So let's see what the cards say more explicitly. Let's go with isolation. So being isolated can feel lonely, but it can also be tremendously healing. When you're feeling secluded, it can be a time to learn more about yourself, to dive down deep into the parts of yourself that you can't reach when you're around others, and learn the importance of some alone time. Give yourself the chance to heal and to rediscover yourself. So allow yourself to do this healing that you are doing with that release of the Nine of Swords. Growth. This card speaks to the transformational qualities of nature and its ability to softly grow and change throughout time. We're constantly growing and shifting throughout our lives. True growth means that you're moving toward your ultimate truth and the highest version of yourself, towards your ultimate truth and the highest version of yourself. Sometimes growth can be painful, and you need to prune to make way for new blossoms. Remember that this is just part of the process, and you're making your way towards your own sacred truth. So making your way towards your own sacred truth with that King of Swords. And this is just part of the process. You're in a process, and the advice is to just continue to let that process happen and let that integration complete. And determination, which is interesting because that comes up as your challenge, sort of like a determination is really kind of the Page of Wands energy, moving forward with like new ways of feeling inspiration. Determination can give you the energy to reach your goals. This card lets you know that the summit of the mountain is within reach. Really take a moment to tap into this feeling and extra energy, Leo season. Also, if you're feeling tired, don't be afraid to ask people for help or look at the obstacle in a new way to renew your spirit. So you're maybe having trouble looking at things in a new way, but don't be afraid to ask people for help. Aquarius is the house of, signifies the 11th house, the house of friends. So don't be afraid to ask people for help or look at the obstacle in a new way to renew your spirit. And so that Page of Wands, maybe that inspiration is feeling like a challenge right now, but you do have that inspiration energy to move forward. So just keep using that so you can finish this cycle of integration, and give yourself that self-compassion. If you're not feeling like you can give it to other people all the time, and feeling sort of that sense of isolation, don't forget you can ask other people for help, but also you can take that time and spiritual journey to do your own thing for now, if that's what you need. Aquarius as the ghost. So essentially Aquariuses have like a rebellious spirit. They see things in new ways, and then other people can tell them, no, that's not the way you're supposed to go, that's not what you're supposed to do, because it has never happened before. Interested by what these two cards are. And so Aquariuses can kind of end up just like not sharing themselves with people because everyone keeps telling them, no, that's wrong, because that's not the way it's been done before. It's like that's not really what an Aquarius does, is what's been done before. So, and that can feel isolating, but you're the house of friends, so Aquariuses are never alone, even though there's that symbolism of the ghost. Yeah, maybe just like one more card. Thanks. This one wanted to come out. Bear. Danger, especially in money matters. Oh, that's so interesting. I was actually in the cemetery today. There's a cemetery near my house that I really like. There's reasons why I like cemeteries, but I think that, the spirits don't haunt us, we haunt ourselves. I like to be around history and the spirits, so I really like looking at new cemeteries. Not even like some morbid fascination with death, but there is this spiritual idea that to die before you die is a good idea, so then you're not afraid of death, you can live your life, and then when death comes around, it's like not as scary anymore, which I think is helpful, because I think as humans we're sort of scared of death, and I guess I like to make people not afraid of death, not like go towards it like early and like try to seek it out, because there's to want to end one's life means something has happened, and that person needs more support. So not to like hasten death by any means, but to be friends with like the other world. So danger, especially in money matters. So maybe this is, that energy surrounding you right now is like not necessarily feeling you're in your financial abundance. fearful that like you don't have the money that you need. And anyway, I was in the cemetery, and for the first time ever, I saw a stone with like a big giant statue bear like sitting on it, which was interesting because I know an Aquarius who like really likes a certain kind of a bear, and so interesting that bear would come out. And especially with this pentacle energy in your reverse, you're obviously maybe a little nervous about your finances and stuff right now. So danger, especially in money matters. So whenever something like this comes up, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to lose all your money, but just be smart about your money. If you need to like save a little bit, it's always good to have like extra savings in case something happens. If you can save money on like a $5 thing that you spend on here and there, that can really add up. So just make sure you have like savings and you're not spending all over the place right now. Carrot, opportunity or a windfall. So maybe there is, you know, new opportunity for money coming through for you. So it's not necessarily that, you know, a money issue is going to be all bad. It could be that, you know, that'll spark you to go for a new opportunity, or maybe there's an opportunity for money coming in, or something to do like your career or your resources and happiness. So that's a nice way to end the framing for that reading. You will be, you will have happiness surrounding you, regardless of what else you might be feeling at the time. Or you know how to pull that energy of happiness for yourself. Can I get a Rumi card, please, for Aquarius? Can I get a Rumi card, please, for Aquarius? Thought that one was going to come out. Can I get a Rumi card, please, for Aquarius? Can I get a Rumi card, please? Thank you. Just going to read that first one. Don't even want to know what the other one is. Passion of the Wild Red Mother. So with Leo season just having started, the opposition to Aquarius, which is why it's an Aquarius full moon. That's some passionate Leo energy. You got this determination, you know, stuff here, and that passion of the Page of Wands is being seen as your challenge right now. But maybe that passion and determination is what will kind of be driving you forward and through. So Passion of the Wild Red Mother, 36. And also, this is a good reminder that with Aquarius season, I think we're like a balancing of gender and like sexual identity and things is definitely like a part of the Aquarius kind of archetype. Having women come up in power so that we can all like really work on being equal together instead of this patriarchal society that we have been living in on purpose. Partially, I think, because you know, men realize the power of women, and so any group that really is seen as being powerful is, I think, this is what kind of happens, is subjugated in history, because that power, they like the people who are suppressing that power want that power to be suppressed. So like women have been suppressed because men know how you know, how strong women and the feminine energy really is. So Passion of the Wild Red Mother. Don't ask the conscious ones about the wine. Behold the glowing effect of it in the eyes of the drunks. The Water Bearer. Bring me your unreasonableness, your insanity, your love without reason, and your passion. The passion that makes you crazy and shoos all logical restraint from your mind. Leave your ordered thoughts, sensible plans, and appropriate attire at my door. Put on your animal fur and sing to me in gibberish. When my beautiful goats die, I make drums from their skins, and their spirits live on in my passionate play. When my birds drop their feathers, I gather them and put them in my hair. I gather them and put them in my hair. Come drum with me as I place feathers in your hair, and we honor the spirits of my animals, of your animal nature too, wild and free as you are in truth. As you are in truth. Moving towards that masculine Aquarius energy. Stick your tongue out and growl at those who try to tame you with guilt. Tame you with guilt as we come out of the guilt, shame, and fear as we come out of the Capricorn moon into the Aquarius full moon. From the Capricorn moon into the Aquarius full moon. Do you think I give a damn for any of their silly games? Their games of reason and logic. Of course you should do it this way, they say. It makes sense. This is what I'm saying about Aquarius. But I care not for what makes sense. I care for what brings you alive. Okay. Oh, you, oh blazing angel, are being invited by the Wild Red Mother to participate in a dance of divine passion. You may be an activist, a poet, an advocate for justice, or a writer, content in your world of dreams, or perhaps you are a healer devoted to the liberation of the suffering of others and hungry to commune with ancient wisdom. Perhaps you are all of these or some other exquisite amalgam of holy energy and form. Whatever your nature, there's passion in your heart, a fire for something more powerful than fear that can become the fuel for your life journey if you accept the invitation of the Wild Red Mother, of course. This is the invitation to lay aside despair. Lay aside despair, which is what you're doing in this conscious energy in like the everyday world. To lay aside doubt in the capacity of the human heart, even, which is Leo season, even your frustration and impatience. It is time to quit whipping yourself and others, to quit whipping yourself and others. So King of Pentacles energy, you're, being not verbally whipping. No matter how noble the intention behind the whip may be, and start dancing instead. So careful of that sword energy. Sometimes just stop telling the truth if it's just going to be cutting, and dance, just dance, and that freeness and that rebellion of the Aquarius archetype. Will you join her, the Wild Red Mother, in her exuberant play? Fire. You can choose to lead through joy, to heal through love, to transform suffering into what it is meant to be, the crucible through which ecstasy reveals itself. You do not have to analyze, to stay in the throes of process and ordered stages. You can just choose this passionate path now if you wish. You are ready. It is open to you. Will you accept? It takes a great spirit, one with much practice of studied rebellion, Aquarius, to be ready to cast off the shackles of society from a place of loving defiance rather than fearful anger, and to playfully say to the world, I have tasted your stale bread and underdeveloped wine, and have had quite enough now. I decline your offer to gorge upon such lesser fruits. I prefer to feast upon bread hot and fresh, and wine that is mouth-filling and unctuous. The water bearer. Join me if you like. It is an abundant feast, and there is plenty for all. Even in the spiritually minded, there can be a driving fear, thinly veiled as devotion to the most arduous path. Perhaps for a while that serves as a truth of sorts, but eventually there will come a time when smaller truths must give way to larger ones, so the soul can truly be free to grow. Growth. Passion is the bridge that leads you from a smaller truth that suffering is necessary in order to heal towards a larger and more luscious experience of life as a divine embrace. The Rumi readings can be long. This oracle comes to you with a message. It is a big cosmic yes. It is also an invitation to let go of suffering and struggle, which is what you're doing. Let go of suffering and struggle. Not with regret or shame, but with gentle acknowledgement that it has had its purpose. It now has a bigger purpose, that of passion, which calls you to engage in the embrace of life with more abandon than ever before. Now is the time to let go of belief systems and needing to know anything. It is time to trust in the beating of your, this trouble of like letting go of that needing to know. Maybe you don't need to know everything. It is time to trust in the beating of your own heart and in the people, places, and experiences that truly move you, whether it makes sense or appears logical or not. So like coming out of that logical era energy, and helping to finish the cycle and integration and wildly dance. You have divine permission to do something ridiculous, Aquarius. Air maybe in general, but just like to do something ridiculous. Be ridiculous in your own mind for your age or career path or some identity or version of yourself you have or another hold. The more ridiculous or inappropriate it seems, the more it moves you from your heart. Without rhyme or reason, the better. This is not about hurting people or behaving without moral code. It is not about childish indulgence and questionable justification for letting the ego misbehave, so realizing that this egotistical energy is not the answer either. It is not about the ego at all. The Wild Red Mother eats ego for breakfast. This guidance is about listening to the truth of your heart and allowing your soul to throb with aliveness, making that more important than any restriction, opinion, judgment, or the fear of mind, yours or that of others, could summon. So just wildly dance. Not everything's going to be logical. Don't hurt other people, but wildly dance. If you are moving forward towards something fiery and passionate that you're thinking about, dance that way. All right, happy full moon, Aquarius.